Hi, buddy. Welcome back to Ox Talks. I appreciate you watching the show. The big day is here. The election results will start coming in here in a few hours. Polls on the West Coast obviously will close last. It's probably going to be a very late night. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see any results tonight. I hope we do. But again, thanks for watching. Appreciate you guys supporting the channel, sharing these videos with people as far and wide as you can. And I want to introduce my good friend Dan. Dan right now lives in Arizona, great state of Arizona. He escaped California. How many years ago now?
5 years.
5 years ago. So Dan and I know each other for about 20 years. We met when I was just a new young lawyer pup. And Dan's been instrumental over the years in helping my family and me with our insurance needs, disability policies, life insurance policies. But he's become a very good friend over the years. He's a patriot. He's a military veteran, correct, Dan?
Yes, sir.
Tell us just brief about your military experience.
Well, 1967, the Vietnam War was raging. And I have a lot of memories from my father in combat in World War II. And I saw what he went through, and I didn't want to be involved with that. A lot of terrible PTSD. It's a sad situation. A lot of the soldiers came back pretty messed up. But he worked every day and supported our family, which is wonderful. So I enlisted, and so I would have some type of a choice. And studied in vocational school and a lot of restaurants, and with cooking experience, so that was dramatic that I could be a cook in the military. And I was always warm. I appreciated being warm when it's cold, and obviously you eat well.
So you went Coast Guard, right?
Yeah, Coast Guard for 4 years because I had a choice.
So what years?
67 to 71.
Okay, so that was the Vietnam era, correct?
Yeah, big time.
Okay. Well, so Dan, you came out of the military in what year? 70 what?
November 27, 1971.
71, Dan's done with service. And then you basically probably then, we're talking about economics all the time on this channel, you probably saw the inflationary bout in the 1970s, correct?
Oh, yeah. It was all crazy. But when you get out of the military when you're young, you don't have a lot of money anyway.
Right. But what did you see with inflation in the 70s?
Well, it was brutal, but
what were the mortgage rates then?
Well, I don't remember that, but in 1981, I was paying 16.5% interest and 6 points on a mortgage.
1981, he's paying 16.5%.
Yeah, 30-year fixed.
30-year fixed. And how much in points?
6 points.
6 points. And look, guys, we're sitting at 7%. We were as low as mid-twos just several years ago. And everybody's screaming that housing is unaffordable and they can't afford mortgages. When you've lived through that, where you've seen mortgages that high, but look, we didn't have the debt levels back in the 70s we have now, right?
And the prices were way lower.
So the calls now are to keep lowering rates because, look, the government can really even service its own debt now. It's over $1 trillion a year just in interest to service
very serious
the national debt. So you've seen... Well, you saw the 70s, you saw economic cycles in the 80s. How about the stock market crash in the 80s? Was that 80s?
Well, in 73, for about 10 years, the market was down around 50%, if I remember. And then it was flat for like 10 years. And that can happen again. In fact, there was called the lost decade a few years ago where the market was flat. And people get all caught up in this stuff, fear of missing out.
Well, they are again, right? I mean,
they are right now
markets
again.
Are at all-time highs, while people like Warren Buffett are liquidating their shares and going to cash. You've got a lot of the buying public rushing in. Again, you said fear of missing out.
Yes.
They want NVIDIA and all the tech stocks and all the chip stocks, right? So this could end badly, right, Dan, again?
Oh, yeah. Well, this big hedge fund manager, he said... he's about, depending on how the election goes, he's going to take all his money out of the market. So we'll see.
It's interesting. The market, I checked about a half an hour ago, and then the stock market was up pretty big. Cryptos were up pretty big. Gold and silver were up. The dollar was very weak earlier today. I saw it getting hammered pretty good. I don't know what that portends. I guess, you could say and extrapolate that to mean that the markets are at least betting right now on a Mr. T win. As opposed to a Harris win. So we'll have to see what happens. But Dan and I wanted to come up to the range today. It's a beautiful day here, about 80 degrees, and the winds are low. And so we want to come up and exercise our Second Amendment rights today. We did some shooting. We've been here for about 2 hours shooting and just talking and enjoying each other's company. And we thought we would do that. So we voted, correct?
Oh, absolutely.
We voted early. I voted Saturday. I told you guys that. Dan voted in Arizona. Hope all of you have exercised your right to vote. If you haven't, go out and do it, right? Take some friends and vote. We got to make this country. We have some big problems in this country we have to work on. Not to mention, border issues, and we have, a lot of problems with our veterans here at home, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we're not even doing what we should be doing for our own veterans. And you are still in touch with a lot of people. I'm sure you hear the stories all the time, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, what are the veterans telling you about the quality of the health care they're getting?
Well, I've been very happy with the VA. I go there. In fact, I went like 3 times in the last month.
Okay.
And they've been tremendous to me. And it's just and what they do that Mr. T got through for us. If you can't see a doctor for like 37 days, they hook you up with a private doctor. And they've done it now. I've seen 4 doctors last month, all private. And
okay, so you're having a good experience.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, you guys leave your comments below. If you're military vets, what are you seeing? Are the wait times longer? Are the systems more overrun? I've shared some stories on the channel before about veterans having very, very difficult time getting access to healthcare because, as we know, not to go down this rabbit hole, but we have a lot of other people coming in from outside competing, right, for medical care and medical services.
Yes. Well, Phoenix, Arizona VA had really problems probably 5-6 years ago. It was very bad. Okay. But I've heard they cleaned that up.
Okay, well, so let's see. I just want briefly, because it's interesting when you tell me the stories, and you lived through the stock market crash of '87.
Well, that too.
Okay,
obviously, yes.
And then the .com bubble, the early 2000s,
Sure.
right? I mean, I was in business during those years, and then you saw the crash of 08, 09 with the real estate, market. What do you think? What's your take right now, Dan, on the status of the real estate market in this country? Obviously, commercial real estate is just getting destroyed.
See, the wars will stop everything. In 1990 here, I had a very nice home. You couldn't give it away. People wanted to trade their yachts on the coast of California for my house. And so that's one problem to another. But you couldn't give the house away. If a big war starts, it's just going to be destroyed. People get scared. They, bird in the hand. They want to still stay right where they're at. And the sales are already down to about 1995 range.
Right, I saw that. I did a video the other day on that.
Slow down, and the builders are starting to crack. I used to do business with builders. Then they would go broke. They go through cycles.
Well, I represented many contractors. A lot of the guys I've worked for back in in the early 2000s, and they were all buying Lamborghinis and buying second and third homes and living the dream. And it came to an end for a lot of those guys, and they went bankrupt. You know?
See, once they buy the boat, I know they're done.
The boat. That's the beginning of the end, right?
Yeah, that's the end.
Okay, well, look, I mean, and commercial real estate we know is imploding.
Very serious.
Right now, a lot of these loans are going to be coming due.
They're
soon.
Already due, a lot of them.
I bet, yeah. And so, we did a video on this last week. They're extending and pretending the banks are keeping this under wraps because they don't want the true state of the commercial real estate reality to be out there, right? And I think you're going to start seeing, you can wait on this, you're going to start seeing probably more medium-sized, mid-sized, and smaller bank failures going into next year.
The banks Federal Reserve has loaned the banks money, and it's supposed to be no more for like a year. But how they're going to pay him? How the bank's going to pay him back? This is very serious. This will probably be coming due in the next 6 months.
Yeah.
How's he going to pay him back?
Well, and you wonder, what's going to fall into the lap of the next president of the United States, right? What's been, festering for the last 4 years, and what is the next successor going to be stepping into? And again, we won't go down that path right now, but it could get very, very ugly. I did a video yesterday about how there are a lot of signs that the stock market could really have a tough going forward now into 2025. And of course, real estate at some point in time, this lock-in effect the gridlock has to end. Now the Fed, right, is going to be we're hearing is going to be continuing to cut interest rates in hopes that will spark buyers. But you still have to have sellers come to the table.
The prices are extremely high.
Prices are too high. Yeah. So, all right. Well, listen, I just want to introduce you to Dan. He'll probably be, he's going to start spending some more time here in town because he doesn't like it when it's too hot. So he'll be around more often now, and we'll do some more videos from up here at the range and keep having Dan update what he's seeing in Arizona. Have you seen an influx of Californians going over to Arizona?
Oh yeah, there's signs all over. Don't California or Arizona.
Don't what?
Don't California or Arizona. There's signs all over the place.
Yeah. Well, it didn't. That's happening
on the bridges going over the freeways. Don't California or Arizona.
Well, years ago, remember the Californians went up into Idaho, right, and up those areas as well, and changed the political climate and changed the real estate climate. So anyway, and then Texas now too. There's been a mass exodus from California into Texas. So, all right. Well, I hope you guys again. Let's see what happens. This is probably the most important election in my time, given that there are so many critical issues now that need to be addressed immediately if we're going to save this country. And so, I'm nervous. I'm anxious.
God bless our troops. Pray for our troops right now.
Pray for our troops. Alan has a son who is coming back from deployment
tomorrow, hopefully.
Okay, his son Alan. So say a prayer for Alan. Now he's getting on a plane pretty quickly, right from.
Well, I hope. I said, text me when the wheels are down and you're back in America.
Yep.
Don't text me when you get ready to take off.
Yep. All right. Well, he'll be great. He'll be back. So thank you all for watching. Again, please share the videos, like it, thumbs up button for me, subscribe, and I'll be checking in tomorrow, and hopefully we'll get some results and some direction so this country is not held in the abeyance of uncertainty for too long. Everyone, God bless. Talk to you soon. Bye.